This is a Vintage Talk Show with Femi and Akintunde-Johnson.
Ba-ba-da-bum, bum, 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 Good morning. Good morning. This lovely, lovely morning, the 19th day of July, 2025. This is the Vintage Talk Show. Welcome, friends. Welcome from wherever you are listening to us. Welcome. It promises to be an interesting day today. My name is Femi Akintunde-Johnson. My friends call me FAJ. And I'm not alone. As usual, I have with me dark and lovely Osifowora Ogundadegbe. Good morning, Osifowora.
Good morning to everybody. Welcome to a great and lovely show. Welcome to another lovely episode of the Vintage Talk Show. Stick with us as we give you all the beautiful things we have for you.
Yeah, where you come from in celebration, your voice will be different. We'll talk about that later in the show. Thank you. Welcome, Osifowora. Amalala, what is covering your screen? Yeah.
A pop-up message.
Okay, you're still there. Something like a thumb is covering your screen. You can't see your face.
How about now?
Still the same. But your voice is clear, so I'm going to launch you.
Okay.
Also with me on the other side of the world is Amolara Famuyiwa. Welcome, Amolara.
Good morning, Uncle Faj. Good morning, Lagos. Welcome to another edition of the Vintage Talk Show. Good morning. Enjoy while we present to you.
The man who is the famous thing, the man what they cannot imagine, when they cannot explain their when they are correct, when not when it's acting or behaving. What is this money? Okay, it's a platform. Let's take a time. Okay, let's move on. What would be our song? Can you say something? Let me see if I can get your voice.
Yes, but I can barely hear you.
You can barely hear me.
I can hear clearly now.
Can you speak again?
Yes, sir, I can hear you now.
Hmm? Mm, is it not on?
It should be on. I just wanted to check that it's not tripping off. It should be here. There's blue lights.
Amalara, speak again.
Hello, I'm still here.
Okay, good. Yeah, I don't know why is it tripping off. Okay, that's Wow playing by Wizkid featuring Skepta and Naira Marley. Let's move on to fact checking, what we call knowledge boosters. You might have heard or read stuff like, do you know that this so and so and so? So we have this. Do you know that the Great Wall of China is visible from space? Is that true? That's a massive thing. Well, the fact checker says it's false. The claim is a myth. So while the wall is massive and long, it is not easily visible to the naked eye from space, especially from the moon or high Earth orbit. Even astronauts have confirmed that without magnification, it is very hard to spot due to its narrow width and the way it blends into the natural landscape. Other man made structures like cities, highways, or airports are actually more visible from space than the Great Wall. So it's a poof. Yes, we are still here. And what do we have for you today? Hopefully, we'll have entertainment news. The ladies are prime and ready. And we have point blank what matters, what really matters. And then Niger trends, our trending stories within Nigerian space. And possibly, let's rewind. Before we do that, we would like to, how will I say it? We'd like to apologize for not showing up last weekend. It was we have to obey our laws. It says there'll be restriction in movement, except you are dealing with the local government election stuff and stuff and stuff. So we stood down so that we can lift the country up. I hope yeah. What is the opposite of disappointed? He can be appointed, Abby. I hope you are not disappointed with the results or whatever came out of that. Anyway, so what happened while we were away last weekend? As if we had a birthday and we missed it. As if it was a birthday.
My birthday was fine. It was okay. It was lovely.
How is it lovely? Is it that there's something special happened? It's like, did you have a time out? Did you have a party? Do you have?
Okay, I was celebrated at my office, and after that, I went out with my family.
Oh, lovely. That's nice. And interestingly, 2 days after, your dad also celebrated his birthday.
It was before my own.
Your okay, it was 2 days before your own.
Yes.
Okay. And Larry, congratulations. Ezive, congratulations.
Thanks.
And throughout the week it will be party and your love will be there, drinks and all that. I envy you. Okay.
Happy birthday,
That's what.
sister.
Yeah, so
Thanks.
that's it. Happy birthday. It's if belated as it is, it's okay. And then we also on the sad note, we lost two, three great people. Okay, one of them we were around. Dantata died while we were in service, and subsequently, the former president, immediate former president, President Muhammadu Buhari, also passed away at 82 in London. Still social media debate and who really died and who did not die. We leave that to conspiracy theorists and all that, But it was laid to rest on the 15th this month in Katsina, in his home in Daura, and a lot of eulogies, tributes, and pouring and all that. Well, we can only wish and pray strong fortitude for those left behind. There's no prayer that can help the dead. And also a distinguished king, a monarch, I should say, Oba Sikiru Adetono, the Ujala of Ijebuland and the paramount ruler of Ijebuland, also passed away. And he was buried in his hometown. Well, they also left without, he didn't leave without some controversies about why should he be buried here, why should he not be buried this way, and all that. Always the collision between tradition and religion. God will help us. I wish the families of all the gentlemen the strength to carry on and to maintain the legacies, whatever they are, of the people left behind. Well, let's stop up. It's enough sad stories. Let's move on. The world goes on. As they say in entertainment, the beats go on. So we are moving on to entertainment news. I'll start with her. Amalara, get ready.
All right, sir.
So our first short on entertainment will come from Amalara Famuyiwa. If you are ready, let's go.
Moji Afolayan on Ade Love's death. Actress Moji Afolayan has opened up about her father, filmmaker Adeyemi Afolayan, popularly known as Ade Love, who passed away 29 years ago. She revealed he showed no signs of illness before their 1996 trip to their hometown, where he suddenly fell ill. Despite being rushed from Ilorin to Lagos, he sadly passed away. Moji described him as a living, caring man and said she would gladly come through him again in another life.
As today's people will say, hey, that's nice. That's nice. It was my childhood idol too. Ade Love, that is. And I remember in the 70s and in the 80s as a young, precocious and troublesome person, it will scale wall to peep at Ade Love and his people when they're rehearsing somewhere at the end of Brickfield Road, Butemeta. It was a very dashingly handsome man, very fair. Anyway, that's how life is. So it's already 29 years. Wow.
How time flies.
Okay, let's move on.
Eniola Badmus slams death wish by influencer. Actress and political aide Eniola Badmus has blasted a social media influencer for wishing death on others, calling it inhumane. In an Instagram post, she urged Nigerians to choose decency over hate, saying no political view should override our shared humanity. Badmus, who serves in the National Assembly, called for unity, dialogue, and truth, not hatred and division.
Yeah, well said. How do you wish death on others, even when you are in a legitimate cause, claiming that they are wishing death on your country by their alleged corruption and high-handedness? Yes, some of our leaders are horrible. We know, but death will not be the cause. It's for the for you to take control, for you to wrest control power from them by legal means, which is the electoral mean way, and change people, leaders who you think are corrupt and incompetent. Wishing death on them. It's not as if your prayers will be answered. People are praying, they have not received answer. It's not causes that will not. It's not as if it's going to work, but why do you pollute the air with curses and all that? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's just so hatred, and a mind filled with hatred can make positive pathways in the scheme of things. Just be focused on dethroning your oppressors and enthroning competence and what will I call it? Compassion and devotion to the goodness of the nation. So do away with curses. In fact, the Bible says you bless those who curse you. You know, you know, find a way of blessing them out of power and take over that power and do the right thing. Okay, so Badmos, echo your prayer. Mm. Let's
Okay.
say Iniedo. Let's move.
Iniedo advocates for surrogacy respect. Nollywood star Iniedo is speaking up about her motherhood journey via surrogacy. At a recent IVF conference, she revealed she was fully involved in the process and called for respect and protection for surrogates. Ine condemned the exploitation of surrogates, insisting they are not just baby factories but human beings who deserve dignity.
Yeah, yeah,
Well said.
yeah. I yeah.
We
It's you
agree.
don't
We
know,
agree.
you don't know, you don't judge people by what you see or read and all that. Like people rightly say, you don't judge a book by its cover. You don't impugn people's character. You don't know their stories. You don't know the context. Like people are using surrogacy, so you just don't condemn what you don't understand. I I I plead that you show understanding and some level of decency in people who choose to have their offspring in another way. What you know, it's like when you see people who are different from you, like albinos and someone living with disabilities and all that, and you begin to make fun of them. It's not only inhumane, it's childish. And well, I think with more education, with more sensitization, as Iniedo is doing now, people will get around it. The person's body. Yeah, a woman has a right to her body. I don't see any conflagration there. Okay. Let's see. Let's go on to okay. Adekunle Gold, go ahead.
Adekunle Gold rewards first-class graduates. Afrobeat star Adekunle Gold is celebrating academic excellence. He's gifted 250,000 naira each to several first-class graduates who shared their transcripts online. Through his foundation, Adekunle continues to support young Nigerians, especially those living with sickle cell disorder, a cause he is passionate about.
Yeah, it's called He Who Feels It Knows It. That's a good thing. It's given in this very terrible economic environment, very, very, very terrible. So when we show sensitivity and when we show understanding, especially if you can afford it, it's a great thing. The only snag for me is asking them to send their transcripts online.
Script.
I think it can be sent privately to you to confirm. Let them make their statement online. I mean, make their decision online, state their willingness to do so online, and then ask them to send it privately. For the whole world to be seeing their transcript, I don't know, it's somehow patronizing to me. Anyway, well, it is 250,000 naira. It is zone, so you can spend it the way he wants. You know, Abiomolara, what do you think?
I feel a little bit skeptical too about sharing the transcript. But the amazing thing is, when it comes to money, Nigerians, they would do.
To go all out. To
They would
Sadly.
do. And we find out some of those graduates. In fact, I read one is now a tailor, and I'm not sure he's a well-doing tailor, just somebody trying to
Mm,
manage like.
mm. The sad spectacle in all this is the way we have normalized this kind of indecency. For instance, you see this young fellow, this toothy fellow, Pella, uh,
Mm,
the, advertising for people to come and become cameramen. And it now turned it into some kind of circus. And it was pay them 500,000 and they can come and this. And then you watch the playback and you see them making fun of them, of their bodies, of their where they come from, and all sorts of childish stuff and all that, And these are people that supposedly have master's degree and all that because they wanted master's degree for to be camera, but only to come to understand that what they wanted actually was a content creator who could do all sorts to do his streaming and all that. He didn't even understand some of the things the people are saying. It's so tragic. I felt so bad for everybody involved. Anyway, that's how far our leaders have pushed us down, that we do not care. Like you said, when it comes to money, they do anything for it. Sadly, very, very sad. Mm. Okay, your Yabojo story, and then we call it a day. Yeah.
Iyabo Ojo grateful after fire incident. Actress Iyabo Ojo has thanked fans and colleagues after fire destroyed her office building in a heartfelt Instagram post. She appreciated the prayers and support, calling the incident a spiritual test. She also praised the fire service and her staff for limiting the damage and thank God no lives were lost.
Wow, we thank
we
God.
thank God. We thank God.
Thank God. No lives lost. Yeah. Congratulations on that. I think that's a rebuild. That's nice for her. Well, on that note, we come to the end of the show. Thank you so much, Amolara, for your compilations. And we really enjoyed that. We take a short break. Somebody said, Kilon She. There's something towards that verb. It's called OB Jazz. Let's hear it.
What can I have?
Okay, I remember the song. Can you come sharing? Hmm. You're not. Are you? You're not recording. Are you recording?
Yes, yes.
Okay, get ready. Yeah, I get it. I get it now. Kí ló ń ṣe tẹ́nìkan ò ṣe rí? Yeah, yeah. Thank you, OB Jazz. We'll come to the second part of entertainment news, and Esife is there to take us through. Esife, you're waiting.
Tinubu backs Afrima 2025. President Tinubu has officially endorsed the 2025 All Africa Music Awards, scheduled to hold in Lagos from 25th to 30th November. Following a request from the African Union Commission, the government has set up a local organizing committee to work with Afrima, the AU, and Lagos State. The move is seen as a bold signal of Nigeria's commitment to the creative sector.
Yeah, that's good. That's nice. That's nice. It's good that awards are receiving international recognition, and states supporting. I mean, as national entities are supporting. I remember the last time it was one African country, is it South Africa? I know the UN is the AU is involved and all that. That's great. We had the second earliest awards in the country after the Nigerian Music Award. We have the Femi Music Awards, which some of us were involved in, and then we had what arguably be called the first movie awards, which is the movie award thema in I think 95. Imagine what they have turned everything to now. It's massive now. It's great. Congratulations to everyone
Congrats
involved.
all the team.
Yes. Okay.
Iyanya, as he lost 3 family members in 2 years, his father, brother, and mother, yet chose to keep performing despite the outbreak.
Well, professionals will say it's given that the drums must roll, irrespective of what happened. I remember it was like something you can call like the zenith of professionalism when Madam Taiwo Ajayi Lycett lost her husband about almost 40 years ago, and she was told right before she stepped on stage, and she heard the news. She went on stage, she performed her role excellently well, and she left to go and receive her husband. It's something nice to talk about or to write about. It's not easy to go through. I don't pray to have such a situations around me and the one I love. But I respect the fellow for that. Good. Yeah. Let's move on.
Yon Edochie gets Igbo chieftaincy title. Actor Yon Edochie has been crowned Isi Ogidi in Toribia Igbo Nine, warrior leader of Igbo youth. He shared in the Igbo people.
I like the way you rolled out the Igbo thing. They would think you study Igbo in school. That's nice. I hope you are correct. I don't know. I
I
don't
have
know.
to
I don't know any
quickly check
difference.
before.
Well, it sounds nice. Warrior leader of Igbo youth. Is that so? Anyway,
Yes, I don't know.
congratulations
Congrats,
to
congrats.
your Doche. Okay, let's move on to Shalade.
Yemi Sholade apologizes after 20 years. Veteran actor Yemi Sholade has publicly apologized to fellow actor Afizowor for slapping him on set over 20 years ago. In an interview, Sholade explained this happened during a shoot outside Ibadan and stemmed from a disagreement. He said he felt it was time to make amends directly.
Yemi, Yemi is not well. You slapped somebody 20 years ago, and I apologize today. What stops you from doing it a week after? And they have performed on the same platform a number of times since then.
Maybe he felt that there was no need for him to apologize back then.
Yeah, it was so angry for 20 years. It's not serious. Anyway, it's good. At least he has apologized. I hope
Yeah.
Hafiz will accept that and let bygones be bygones. Oh God. How do you get so angry? You slap somebody, you know, your friend. Ah, anyway, yeah. There's apology and hopefully has been received. Let's move on.
TikTok deletes 3.6 million videos in Nigeria.
Hmm.
TikTok says it's removed over 3.6 million videos in Nigeria in just 3 months, citing violation of its community guidelines.
Hmm.
In Q1 2025 alone, it's also banned over 42,000 live rooms and cut off 48,000 streams. TikTok is working with NGOs to promote safer online spaces in the region.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. I mean, are you a regular viewer of I don't know about TikTok.
Once in a while, I go to I'm not even on TikTok, but if I be on TikTok just for a short minute and then I'm out again.
I fear that platform, the kind of licentious, the kind of laxity. Omola, are you on TikTok?
Yes, I am. And the,
Oh,
the
okay.
toxicity of TikTok is even more than X. As in, no, it's too
Wow,
much.
wow,
And
wow.
TikTok is the most used social media platform now.
It's a
And it has
very
more
anyway.
rated
I don't
content.
want to
It's too
demarket
much.
anybody. I don't want to demarket anybody. Uh, people who know people know why they navigate towards certain social media platforms. Uh, TikTok is not for me. Uh, I mean, the kind of videos if you have normal moral compass, you can't finish 1 minute of it. You know.
You don't be watching and watching and watching.
Okay, let me welcome our new faces. We are just rounding up on entertainment news. I'm sure we'll call on them shortly. It's good to have you. I don't know if he's back with us now. Our legal expert and social advocate, Olutu Bosun Osifowora. Good morning, Bosun.
Good morning, Uncle Fudge. Good morning, everyone.
Good
It's nice
morning.
to be back.
Good morning. Yeah, the smile and all this. I mean, the league has not started, so you have liberty to flange, as they say. Especially with all this signing, you are signing all over the place. Taking everybody's crumbs and managing it in your strides.
Uncle Fudge.
Okay, but you're welcome. You're welcome. I can also
Yes, sir.
see uh Yes, commentator too is always there. He's on the leave of a forced leave of absence. We don't know why he disappeared, but he's back with us. Akindamola Adeboye. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Faj. How is everybody?
Good morning. Nothing will
Good
take
morning,
your voice.
everybody.
Try,
Amolara, good
try
morning.
and raise your voice.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Bosun. Mr. Damola.
Okay, you're welcome.
Morning, everyone.
Okay, we're still on entertainment news, and our chaps have come in. We'll also move to newspaper reviews, Niger trends, and possibly a little skit on Point Blank. We'll come to that. But let's wrap up. Aha. Osifowora.
I did.
Okay, day your day. Let's go on to Sound Sultan.
Sound Sultan honored with basketball match. 4 years after his death, Sound Sultan was honored with a tribute basketball match in Festac, Lagos. Friends, fans, and fellow artists came together to celebrate his legacy of music, activism, and youth development. He was fondly remembered as a prophet with a mic.
I remember that young man.
Yeah.
He was a great guy.
He came to me
Very
one day.
good.
He came to me one day to express his admiration for some of the stuff I've done in the past and all that. And I was surprised because he was quite young. I didn't know he would be that agile around that time, And it was someone who reads. I mean, who used to read a lot. I believe. Because he was capturing some incidents I covered and all that. It was, I said, hey, you remember, you know about that, hey, and to lose him years after, it's quite sad, and it's like the saying, the good ones don't last long. There's all these people that say rubbish and sing rubbish. They have some kind of longevity, The good ones don't last long.
That's a claim on life.
Yeah. It's like bad leaders. They'll be there at 90 years old, 80 years old. You see the good ones dying. But may his soul continue to rest in peace.
Amen.
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 That's solid music. The last note. Yeah.
Soli Baba returns with Tomato. Afrobeat star Soli Baba is back with a new single, Tomato, off his latest album, Baby O, known for early 2000 hits with Two-Face and others. Soli says his return is a reconnection with fans. The new track is already gaining buzz for its catchy sound and vibrant feel.
How much did they pay you for this thing? Yeah? That you're already hearing. They're hearing vibrant sound. Okay. Sylvia has confessed that nothing happened between them. So that in case the commercial department is asking, I will send a note to them. Anyway, good luck to Soli Baba.
Welcome back.
Yeah, and for your return to this table. Thank you so much, Osifowora and Namolara, for the entertainment wrap up. Thank you. It's been interesting. We'll take a short break and come back. Demola, please work on your voice. It's distant.
That's what I'm working on.
Please, where is my learned colleague?
She's around. There you can see.
How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, it's a very good morning, though.
Yeah, Osifowora was giving. Bosun was giving.
Okay, good morning, sir. I'm very well.
Morning, Seth. Morning, Seth. How are you? My learned colleague, you have a learned junior now, Dino Milai.
Have you?
Did you see the drama that our company is going to court? He appeared in court yesterday. They videoed him from the house till he got to the court. As he was walking in, I was like, what is all this now? Day one.
Wow.
When he becomes SAN, what would we do?
That man will show you a professional shaking.
If he gets to SCN level, wow, that would be something. That's all I can say. That would be something.
That's not going to happen until another 11 years. I don't know how relevant it will be then.
But like
at the very earliest, that's 11 years time. So,
but the position he already got to in the political space, I don't doubt that he can do it. Actually,
he can use. I mean, you have to do 10 years of practice first. There's nothing. Nobody's going to back down. The LPDC rules already say that. I mean, the rules already states how to become an SAN. So he will do 10 years first, and then he will now apply. So that makes 11, 12 years. He can't be anything earlier. We're not going to bend the rules for him now.
No, I still think it can be 10 years, but I mean I don't know how to say it without sounding somehow.
His relevance then.
Anyway, let me keep my thoughts to myself.
Okay, we are going back on there.
Okay, yes. The FAJ. That's the only situation which I'm allowed to say on it.
Where's Uncle T?
He's a little bit under the weather.
Oh.
So he's not able to join us.
Mr. Alex.
Mr. Alex Ogundadegbe.
Well, Alex, I don't understand his own journey again. I think he's constantly on the move.
Hi, Mr. Adeboye. Can you hear us? Well, me.
Working on his voice.
Okay. I just wanted to greet you.
Okay, I'm launching.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
This is still the Vintage Talk Show. And we are back with, I think that's a clash of interest or clash of focus. If you do newspaper review, it's all about Buhari. Inside the 3,500 pounds sterling per day elite London clinic where Buhari died. And then another headline says, Buhari's political legacy, who takes over. So it's all about Buhari this, Buhari that, and all that, and all that. And on our point blank is also Buhari. So let's just take the point blank. And because we still have Niger trends too, I don't want it to be all about Buhari, before they accuse us of something else.
Oh, the man just died.
Because the man just died, and Nigerians are our sentimentality about the dead. I know some people don't have, as Yoruba would say, lake boloju. They have no scalp to.
What are some people?
I don't know how to translate it. I mean, maybe scalp over their eyelids.
The eyelid.
The eyelids, the eyelids, this guy, okay. The eyelids, the covering.
No, I heard that. I'm asking, who is this? Some people.
I can't be explaining that.
No, is it me?
No, not you.
Okay.
No, I'm just talking generally. I mean, if you watch the scene in the past 6-7 days, it's been, especially social media. Those people have no. Some of them have no blood running in their veins. Some things that you should be saying in your bedroom, they say it outside. Just say.
I was just to add to yours, that I was on TVC on the day Buhari was going to be buried, and just to speak about his legacy. And there was another person who was brought in, a certain Kashim Afegbua. he just he didn't hide his contempt for Buhari, and he just went on from the studios because he joined online. I was physical in the studio. They had to keep telling him to mind the use of language and how he described the man. That I had to tell them that, say, well, from a part of the world where we don't speak ill of the dead, no matter what. And whatever thing we have against him, just let the man go and rest in peace. Because I saw a lot of comments, I saw a lot of articles. They were very much in bad taste. You would think he was the next Hitler or something horrible. I don't think he's that bad.
Yeah, I also have a very strong opinion about his tenure, first and second. Fortunately, I was old enough in both sides
third
to understand. And third, he had a second.
I told them he had a first coming, second coming. Unlike the Messiah, he had a third coming.
Third coming, And it's safe to say I was thoroughly disappointed. I mean, I like what
I think we had so much expectation, and the expectation of the righteous was cut off.
He did. Uncle Fad, my father was one of those ardent Buhari supporters when he was alive then, and I remember.
So was my dad.
Yeah, as in his first tenure was so terrible that second tenure, my father, he usually makes it to the police station every election. But that second tenure, it was like he struggled with himself, and he was like, this guy has disappointed. And for someone that was like, okay, I find a kindred spirit that was forthright, like me, and he just, like they will say, he felt the old man's hand, like that one. It was sad.
I think there were two problems with the man, and the first problem was the people had so much expectation on him, thinking he would save us from, the quagmire. But the second one was, okay, we're not with him now, with the people. One, there was too much high expectation. The second problem was we didn't gauge his capacity to lead. We just assumed that he could do those things. We misjudged, everything.
Yes,
we didn't know his capacity. We didn't know his capacity.
Bosun, do you know that we should?
I was about to say that.
No.
I mean, let me make an intervention here, please. I'll come back to you. If you are listening to us out there, it's just not a side talk. It's part of our point blank. The point blank says legacies of Muhammadu Buhari didn't lead Nigeria better than he met it. That's how we should go on, and that's what we are already trying to say without speaking ill of the devil. I don't know how you criticize. I mean, how you review someone and you don't end up criticizing. They say constructively, Abi. But what's the point of criticizing somebody that is gone? It's not used. There's no construction or deconstruction. But anyway, if you wish to add your voice to what we're saying in the next few minutes, you can call us. The number is 0913 6973 485. The number again 0913 6973 485. Yes, continue.
Uncle Fad, let me quickly conclude. So I'm not being derogatory. What I'm trying to say is that we had so much expectation, and then we didn't gauge his capacity well. Buhari's leadership style was way out of tune with the leadership qualities expected in modern times. There were a few things he got very wrong. Now, but one of the things that stood out for him was his sincerity, no doubt. But over time, I've come to realize that you can be sincerely wrong. That was what I found out in Buhari's case. He wanted one of the things he wanted to do was rid the country of corruption. I mean, he had that back in 84. I was old enough to know how war against indiscipline panned out. All right. Now, but coming back to as a democratic leader, one, he thought he thought democracy would have the same military fiat with which he governed back in, I mean, December 83, 31st December 83 to 85. He thought he could do that. It was when he found out that, this is democracy. It's not like 83. That's one. Then this is 2000s. It's not even like the 80s. So he was constrained. You could see on his face physically that he knew he had beaten more than he could chew. And there were people who wake up every day who were just as powerful as he was, even in government. And there was not, as at when he was a military head of state, it was only him and Idiagbon, and nobody could look at their faces. But this time around, democracy, they will look at it like, okay, go and sit down. They were just as powerful as he was. He came with the whole body language thing. The whole body language thing lasted 6 months. Then another thing, you know why I said he got the leadership thing wrong? You know, when he came in, he left the ministry heads to take charge. He didn't appoint ministers from day one. That gave room for the sinking of his administration. You don't do that. You don't. Nature abhors vacuum. You don't leave. Then you're coming in. You thought you still sit down. You thought you could just handpick people. They were telling him, no, this is who we want here. This is, and he couldn't do anything about it. So that's why I said that we misjudge or misgauge his leadership capacity. He was a bit out of tune with modern realities. That was his problem. He was sincere, but he was sincerely wrong. Then he left a lot of things just to fester until people will shout, and cry. So those were the things that you don't do that with modern leadership. You're proactive. He wasn't. He was laid back. In fact, the guest I was with I was with on TV said something that he was so taciturn that until you push him from the back before he did some things. Then another thing leaders don't do, he didn't hide his tribal sentiments. You don't do that in this kind of system. Because
okay, Aki, the network has shut off Bosun.
Down. Yeah, but Uncle Fag, with democracy, everything is about the optics, and it's his job about the cheap popularity. We are having the same issue on a board and on now, because the executive was brought into democracy, and you know the optics then was like this guy was wow, he could perform, he could do this, he could do that, but when we came on board, the guy just ghosted us. I mean, he was the leader. He just ghosted us. But does the guy have capacity? He does. But to lead in our own type of environment takes something extra. And Buhari didn't have it at all. At all. It was all about the optics. We are just perceiving Buhari, and that was our reality. Buhari was a corruption-free man. Buhari was this. What about those people around him? Because I've been tasked to write an article now, and I'm looking at titling it "Our Cultural Taste." Our cultural taste for mediocrity, our cultural taste for poverty, and you know, every time we keep on hammering that. Maybe in this part of the world, democracy will not really cut it. Because if you have been to somewhere like Rwanda, people think Rwanda is a democratic country. It is not. But that country is working simply because the person in charge knows. But also in an argument for democracy, you can only take it so far. What if that person goes away and another person comes and he is not of the same capacity or of the same vision? So I think we need a hybrid of a little bit of dictatorship with democracy, because in this part of the world, if you lead, like Bosun said, if you lead people to do what they want, especially public or civil servants. Wow. Because once the civil service of a country gets it wrong, forget about the people, forget about the system. Everything is wrong. Once that is wrong, everything is wrong.
So the consensus, sadly, the consensus that he came, he saw, and
he didn't conquer.
Did not
He didn't conquer.
He was conquered. He was conquered.
Yeah. He was conquered. You know, the thing for me, and I saw it in both all the three regimes, or whatever I should say, administration, is the fact that he appears to be a solo campaigner. He is the essence of anti-corruption and all that stuff. It's only about himself, not dirtying himself or not getting muddled up in this stuff. He has absolutely no control over those who are chopping all sorts of things around him. You know, so his body language gives license to people to filch around him, to manipulate him, to use subterfuge. In one of the stories we are reading, Gambari spoke about it. People go behind him to go and do this and do that and all that. And it happened when he was in the military too. He didn't know that boys were ganging up against him because they were complaining. And he didn't understand their complaints. Because he doesn't see how he cannot fast for 4 days and not eat, right? And people say they can do without 1 hour and not eat, you know. And he says, as far as he can do it, they should be able to do it. And he goes on. He doesn't know what is happening again, you know. But well, may he find rest.
Occupied.
You know?
Occupied. This is the best description I've seen. This is the best analysis I've seen so far about Buhari. What you just said now, it was about him not staining himself. That for me, that's a takeaway for me here. He just, that what they call on the street, no be me spoil him. That was him.
And the 2 hands raised. And the 2 hands raised. No be
so
no be me. Oh my.
For me, it was for just a little bit. For me, it wasn't about. I didn't know the personality of the man, and I wasn't much into politics then. But the effect of his policies around everybody, it wasn't worse or better than previous administrations to me. Everybody was just equally bad. It has been bad for a long time.
If you understood the kind of admiration that we used to have,
I saw
for Buhari,
that day his election. There was some happiness on his face. Everybody was so excited.
The first 3 months. I was already in the nada
of
disappointment. The guy was vacillating over appointment. It pained me. Every day I'll be writing lists who could be this and that. On my own bed, I could do that. And anyway, gentlemen, let's.
I wasn't disappointed. Everybody's all same.
I don't think he left the country better than he met it. You know, he did some things great. He did something absolutely abhorrible.
With very little emotion, to show for
and then he has his compassion level is out of this world.
Was very low.
I think he was taciturn. He was
emotionally
and very laid back.
Very laid back.
Very,
one good thing I like about him is that
let's say good things.
One good thing I like what he did with the June 12th. I loved it very well. Reclaiming this, even those who are from the part of the country could not do it. He did that. Then I like the fact that he tried to not intervene, but it doesn't work in African politics. He tried not to intervene in the legislative affairs and their shenanigans and all that, and tried not to, unlike Obasanjo, unlike what we are seeing now, he tried to be different, the separation of power and all that, cool and all that, obviously.
But occupied. If we talk about legacies, one of the economic struggles of this present administration, the blocks were laid by Buhari's economic policies.
Don't go there.
Somebody who left Emefiele. No, if you so part of the being taciturn was if you left an Emefiele in office forever, and then your economic position was to print more money. When it's not Uganda.
I said you changed the color of your money, and you claim the president did not know about it.
It is
horrible. It is
Uncle Fat, even the printing of the money, it was after he left office that he knew the enormity of the printing of the money. He never knew. They were just doing, or he just left everybody to their devices, all sorts.
Anyway,
So
don't let it appear that we are speculating. The legacy is clear.
Paromo.
We started out saying, we don't want to speak ill of the dead.
We are not speaking ill.
We didn't speak great of the dead.
Is the results, is the report card of the dead we are looking at.
Okay, gentlemen and lady, let's take a short break. We come back and after the other side of this infomercial.
But
hello, my dear Lagosians. I bring
this long infomercial.
But
to lead a country,
that man.
But I just keep thinking to lead a country must be very difficult.
It is, of course. It is. That's why you prepare for it.
In one sentence, he underestimated Nigeria, and Nigerians overestimated him. So there was bound to be clash.
That's it. So balance of discord is already established.
Very well. He just thought he could come in. Nobody would doubt his sincerity, sincerely speaking. He wanted to do some things.
Into the workplace. We have trained thousands of young people on diverse.
But my own is, I guess we're talking about him because he has died. But Jonathan was not any better. The president, Obasanjo, people before him were not better. Now Tinubu is not better. Like I'm saying,
no. So you don't. When you want to talk about being good, better, best, or bad, worst, you measure with certain parameters. That's it. You can't just give a blank statement that somebody is bad, 100% bad, because if you want to measure failings, you have to put in place parameters. You want to measure economically, you want to measure socially, you want to measure along policies and all that. Those are the things you look at. You now look at the outcomes of those policies. Because if you look at it, one of the problems that he had back then was, if you look at the economy, I don't know who will give him 1 mark. He left it, then he didn't have, unlike Obasanjo, Obasanjo had an economic team. Any sensible government will come up with a solid economic team that would disagree with the president. He didn't have that. He didn't have an economic team, and he was just people were coming up with policies, and he was sanctioning it. You don't do that.
I think that comes from the background of him not being in that environment, what we call the real environment of education. Because
true.
When you say education is a scam, go and look at Buhari and his government. Education is never a scam.
Scam.
Yeah, because Jonathan, we could manage Jonathan because Jonathan is in that environment, and of course, when you are in that kind of environment, you will see people that even if you don't have the full capacity, will help you along.
Yes.
And that's what Jonathan had, because he was in that environment. People could easily relate with an additional.
Yes.
Relate with additional. He could easily relate. And Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, they helped. Things along. But Buhari, yes, sir.
Akin, Obasanjo is virtually in the same mold with Buhari. How much?
No, Obasanjo, no, sir. Obasanjo was more cosmopolitan.
He's not.
Obasanjo was more cosmopolitan.
That was where I was going.
It's
the build-up. It's the build-up. Apart from education, you must have natural intelligence.
No, yes, sir. But Obasanjo comes from the part of the country where education is really valued. And you could see from an Obasanjo that
True.
even he had to go back to an open university just to be in an environment where he could.
I
could
don't know that
That
this
Buhari didn't do.
He didn't do.
In fact, let me quickly add to your position. I don't know how true this is, but somebody told us, somebody close to him, that he went to his place and he noticed that there was no library in his house. How true that was, I don't know. But he didn't display that much of intellectual capacity or capability. Yes, sir.
Also, since the man left office in 1985, he
Yes.
didn't personally
Develop himself.
He didn't do any research. He didn't do any extra education. He didn't go to any noun or study anything. No, it was just
and I think
a monolith of power.
Uncle Fad, let me quickly add this. And I think his development stopped when he left, because when he came back, if you go and check this one, I used to say it amongst my friends. The first place he went was Germany. The first country Buhari visited was Germany. And when he was thanking Angela Merkel, then he said he wants to thank the president of West Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's on record. I'm not, but that was so.
Yeah,
I was just like,
it was locked in 1985.
That was where he left it, and that was where he picked it. So he probably wasn't following. So, but you see him coming in as president. We, like Tamilore said, the whole Jonathan debacle and how everything went. We just wanted a change. We, like the Israelites, we didn't pay attention to the kind of change that would come. We just wanted something that was different from what we had, and we got it.
We got it. We got it.
Yeah, we really got it.
We didn't measure the change. So that was why I'm listening to that.
For me, it might sound somehow, but people from this part of the country where we are, even when they are not that educated, but they flow in some certain circles, until someone tells you they are not educated, before you will know they are not.
A good example was your idea.
Thank you. He flows in that environment. He's sharp. He's intellectually sound.
And open to development.
Open to development. That is how we flow in this place. Because if you don't, you will just be rubbished, and you will never enter into some certain circles if you don't develop yourself, even if you are not educated. But in that part of the country where Buhari comes from, everybody is just, they are just laid back.
And he had a cult following. Wouldn't care who he was.
He was. They just wanted, okay, this is our person. We wanted him there. Someone tweeted something. Was it a Twitter? He wrote something. He said, people from the north, when you go to them for a job opportunity, no matter who you are, okay, do you have just the basic requirement? They will employ you. People from this place, they will tell you, do you have a first degree? Oh, it's a master's. Oh, after this, you need to go for your PhD. And that is why, and that is why we, our parts of the country, from wherever you come from, it's always telling on how you lead. It's always telling on how you lead, because you will always see it. Then Buhari, for crying out loud, is not even a politician at all.
Okay, gentlemen, we are going back on there.
It's just a person that has a cult following, and that's all. And that was what brought him into the office.
I keep thinking, very irrelevant points. Okay, no, it's not important. Don't worry. I was just thinking of his last moments, what he thought of himself.
That's 100 meters. Well, at the back end, even while on break, we keep on talking about the legacies of Muhammadu Buhari. Um, may his soul find rest uh, and peace among the troubled minds of some Nigerians,
Yeah.
who will never forget his 10 years. But the man has done his bit and is gone. The rest is left to us to salvage. Okay, we are moving on to Niger Trends. And that's our flagship segment where we speak about or speak to current news and statements and stories about Nigeria and Nigerians. It's great to have with me this morning our now and again beautiful presenter, a legal practitioner, and more. Good morning, Tamilore.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. There's this line from Merlin that says once and future king. So I'm your once and future queen.
Oh no.
Okay, that's yeah. I'm not going to play Buhari role with you. Can we shoot?
Okay. Edo State Governor wants Peter Obi over Edo visits. The Edo State Governor has slammed Labour Party's Peter Obi for visiting Benin without security clearance. Obi had donated 15 million naira to a nursing school on July 7, but the governor linked his visit to a spike in violence, alleging 3 deaths followed. The governor said Obi must not come to Edo without proper clearance. At the same event, he welcomed federal lawmaker Marcus Onobun to APC, boasting the defection signals the end of PDP in Edo. He also accused opposition figures of past corruption and labeled them insecurity merchants.
God, politicians.
They are our own Hollywood.
For me, this 2017, for me, it's coming too early. It's coming too early.
It's too early.
2 years ahead. We have left the issue of governance behind, and we are now politicking. And everybody is involved, be it Obi, be it our president, be it who is who. They are all involved. Everybody is involved. Because I don't know, it's like the president, went visiting a Kano state, and the massive crowd that received him. I know the man will be happy with himself now. The massive crowd, they pulled out all stuff to make sure, okay, the president was in our state, and it was all the optics. All was all about 2027.
It's about 2027, yeah.
Yeah, and the issue, the issue surrounding, Obi going to, and he was publicizing that, okay, they were asking for 45 million, he could only do 15 million and stuff like that one. And I was looking at, okay, because I'm looking at it that maybe because it's a federal university, heads might not really roll like that. Because if it was a state university, you've not asked even the host governor. You didn't tell us that you asked him for money and he didn't provide. He didn't tell us that and it was an OB that you wrote to, and the optics is all about 2027, and I am pained because it's all same of the same. I'm not seeing any difference. Like I told some people, I said either you like it or not. The crop of people, we could only choose maybe the kind of person that we thought was better then. Till now, I've not seen a different person, and it's sad.
Well,
it's sad.
Well,
it's like choosing a better devil.
Yes. Choosing a better devil. Because
my take on this Edo thing is one of the things I've seen, and it's scary amongst our politicians. Number one, nobody talks about policy or policy development. So we follow them for who they are. not because of what they can do. That's one. But a second thing they now do is, particularly all the spokesperson or people in authority, you will come, you will vilify another person, you will speak ill of that person to his face. And then tomorrow, you will come and form an alliance with that same person and pretend as if all you said, you never said it or it never came to the fore. Now, this Edo governor, in this era where all of them form all kinds of alliances, both holy and unholy alliances, now you are saying something this horrible. Tomorrow, now the man crosses to your party and you now dress him in a different gap. I don't, if they can just tell them to keep quiet and just, we know what you're doing doesn't make sense. All right. Keep doing your nonsense, but don't talk so that you don't call us fools afterwards, because we are the ones who actually look funny in the long run. Because you see this person, you see El Rufai and Obi and how they tackle themselves. Now they are the two, they are now Siamese. Best thing that ever happened to themselves. And I'm like, so all these things you said about yourself, what is the joke on us or on you guys? So if they can learn to keep quiet, do whatever thing they want to do, we will keep enduring until Shiloh comes, until God decides to save us. So that's just it.
Yeah. You can join us. This is Niger Trends. I'm with Bosun, Osifowora, Akintunde-Johnson, and Tamilore. We are discussing Nigeria, trending stories within the Nigerian space. And you can also be a part of it. The number to call is 0913 697 3485. Take it again, 0913 697 3485. Join us. It's Niger Trends. Yeah, Tinubu story.
Tinubu appoints IBB's son, others to key positions. President Tinubu has named Muhammad Babangida, son of ex-military ruler Ibrahim Babangida, as chairman of the Bank of Agriculture. Babangida Jr. holds advanced degrees and has executive training from Harvard. Several others were also appointed to top government positions, including Lydia Musa for Oil and Gas Free Zones Authority and Sanusi Rikiji as head of trade negotiations. The appointments reflect a nationwide spread and appear to align with Tinubu's restructuring drive across key sectors.
Once again, 2027 in focus.
Very much. Real chess play. Real chess play.
I was telling people, you see, I said if I would have one person to study as a politician, it's a Tinubu. It's a politician's politician. He's a Tinubu. He's a politician's politician, and he knows how to play the game. And I said, if we are fortunate enough, and maybe some of his policies come to play and move Nigeria forward, we would have laid a solid foundation for the country to move forward. If it's what I personally am envisioning about Tinubu, not everybody. If what personally I'm envisioning about Tinubu is what he is doing, but I'm not seeing, then would have laid the solid foundation, because it has happened in Lagos. The way the leadership is structured in Lagos, I loved it that it is not really a politician that is always in charge in Lagos of Lagos. Most of them are not politicians. Sanwo-Olu was just there. He's a technocrat. Anambode was a technocrat. Fashola was a technocrat. And maybe that is what we need in this country. Not really a politician like that, but someone that has the capacity to see what people are not seeing and we just move. Because either we like it or not, right from the days of Tinubu till now, Lagos has been moving forward massively. And they could do better, yes. But are they moving? They are the flagship state in all of the whole country. And for Tinubu, to start appointing this, appointing that, and stuff like that, and it's just putting things in place for the politics that will come later. And Ali Babangida was sitting down with the coalition. The next day, he said, "No, I didn't They told me that it was a stakeholder of PDP people, and he denied immediately. Yeah, they've reached out to the guy. He denied immediately that no, because so for him that was a politician. He knew who he was dealing with, and he knew that okay, maybe my bread will be a little bit buttered in the other side than when I come and sit down with one coalition that doesn't have a vision for themselves other than just let us get this man out of office. So everything.
And he has got EFCC case
Yes. Yes.
hanging on his neck.
Yes.
So it was a wise decision.
Yeah, we get a soft landing. It's Nigeria. We get a soft landing for our guy that was our Ekiti State governor. 6.9 billion.
Aki and Bosun. I believe I don't believe in all this foundation thing you're talking about. I don't believe regime change. People have all kinds of agendas. And foundations, I mean, I remember the time by the first and second term of Obasanjo, we were complaining about this man should have done this one, but he has laid the foundation. He has laid the foundation. 15 years after, the foundation has been excavated. They are rebuilding the foundation again. They are rebuilding the foundation.
For the death of that man, sir.
Politicians have capacity to change foundation.
Maybe we would have moved forward better than this. If not for the death of Umar Yar'Adua. Because really, like I said, we need to have a hybrid. Some of dictatorship, some of democracy. He looked around him and he picked who he think could follow in his footsteps. And really, the guy.
Sorry, Akin, there's a caller. Good morning. Okay. I suspect that's Tokunbo. Yeah, good morning. Yeah.
He saw and he was conquered. Why did not conquer? And he talked there, he don't talk full of the devil or of the power of the dead. It's not okay. Whether he talks full of the dead or not, the truth is that what the dead is saying and the action caused by the dead is still ongoing. And for as long as people continue to be in the mess created by another person for them, they will continue to remember that person. So the truth is that let other people learn from the mistakes of Buhari. Why did not do well? Why took Nigeria back to 1900, 1900? That is for him to be a leader. It's an opportunity to elevate the standard of living of the people. Yeah. I don't know what like how many years ago. And about what you can see in Nigeria that you can be proud of is what he has done 70-something years in the 1960s. These are the things you can be proud of in Nigeria today. And somebody now they want to study Tokunbo. What do you want to study Tokunbo? A leadership that cannot give the people comfort, that cannot change the fortunes of the people. Anyway, I'm not going to even because you talk about the education in your class. If education has been brought down to this level, and people don't move by the education again, what do you expect for them to think? It's not a thing of pride. It's for serving. You cannot serve the people. Make the lives of the people more abundant for them. Then you have no business here. All these commercial politicians, all these political entrepreneurs that we see everywhere. Is that where we should be going? Other people are moving forward. They say doing that every day. They are not concerned. America is telling you don't come to this country. Just come. Everybody is just telling all of that. Not because the country is not good. I keep praising people who are just putting in this land.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Tokunbo.
Uncle Fudge.
Yes.
Uncle Fudge, one of the appointees.
I hope you heard him.
I heard. One of the appointees was my call mate in law school. So I think I'm the SAN amongst the new appointees. So I think I'm due for an appointment myself.
so you can be a change agent. You see, what I've been saying is about, and I think Akin also mentioned it. People have forgotten about governance. and they are talking about politics. And
Oh.
that's a caller again. Let's take this. Hello. Good morning. Who are we speaking to? Henry coming from Tokunbo. Thank you for joining us. What do you have to say?
What I have to say about Nigerian politics, you understand?
Yeah.
I think it's high time we should stop using our presidential seat as a compensation to politicians who might have fought for Nigeria or democratically done many things in Nigeria. They will say, okay, let's use the presidential seat to compensate them. You understand? That is what happened in the life of Buhari. Buhari, we just compensated Buhari with that seat because Tinubu single-handedly made him the president. You understand? When he had nothing to offer, he had done his part when he was young. At that age, he was supposed to retire and be resting. And he came, he took us back, like very fucking back. Buhari is a tribalist. He didn't do anything in Nigeria. He just took us back. You understand? And when we talk, he will keep a deaf ear. And when we protest, he will send army to come and shoot us. You understand? This is what happened in Nigeria. And now we are compensating Tinubu again with the same thing. Tinubu did well in his tenure when he was a governor of Lagos State. Even considering the fact that Lagos State was former FCT of Nigeria, everything was made possible for Lagos to thrive. So he did well. But then what is he coming now to do as a president? He was supposed to be resting. And there's a fact that supposed a younger generation to lead us. You understand? Look at what he's doing now. He's going backward again. I think this type of Buhari should be a lesson to him for him to decide whether to contest against 27 or to step back. Because if that's find him tomorrow, what will be his legacy is left for the common man. Will Nigerians say good things about him? You understand?
Thank you.
Going every forward and back. And all this political, how will I call it, touch, like we like to do normal create, who told us that P2B is the saint that God has sent to us, coming back to tell us that P2B is not a disaster, who told us that Tinubu was a drug dealer, coming out to tell us that Tinubu is our savior.
Henry, thank you. Thank you, Henry. We understand. We understand your comment. Thank you so much. Thank you. Henry, like some Nigerians, who is angry that we are compensating people that should be in hospice and being catered to by their grandchildren, giving them high office. That is too hard for their what do you call it, for their own good health, you know. And well, let's that different arguments will come up as we journey towards 2027. The sad thing, as one of you mentioned, is the fact that we are leaving governance behind and we are focusing more on politics of 2027. And Nigerians are still economically in doldrums. We need to get that right. Let's move on to the next story. I know you want to say something, but please let's move on to the next story so that we can. You still have something to say there too.
Ex-Chief of Staff Gambari spills on cabal and secret memos to Buhari. Former Chief of Staff to President Buhari, Prof. Ibrahim Gambari, has revealed that some inner circle members routinely bypassed him to secretly pass memos to the president, despite official directives. Speaking on Channels TV, Gambari said Buhari's informal nature made him vulnerable to such back-channel communications. He confirmed the existence of a cabal, likening it to the typical kitchen cabinet seen in every presidency. He also noted Buhari's deep loyalty to aides, even when pressured to fire them.
Okay, before you make a comment, I just want to advise our callers to be civil when they are making their discussions. Even your annoyance, don't speculate, don't throw indefensible slurs or derogatory statements that impugn anyone's character. Just make your point clear and forcibly as much as you can. Be civil. Yes. Guys, did you hear?
we talked about this before now. It's the nature of Buhari, so it's nothing new. We have said it before. He's that kind of person. He's that kind of person. He doesn't. He's like Bosun has said. He's just the person that is sincerely wrong. Bosun has said it before. He's just sincerely wrong in all ramifications, in the way he does in the way he chose to lead or govern, because he was still in the mode of a military head of state, and people will just flow with how I want to flow. And then in the military, everybody is afraid that you could. Wow, the studio is off. I think they're
I
having
think so.
technical issues.
I
Yeah, the
think so.
studio is off. I think they're. Yeah.
I think there's a general consensus that Buhari took Nigeria back. So the question should be, how far back did he take us?
Bosun, that thing is
Yes.
because I am not saying I wholeheartedly believe some of the data that is coming out, but that thing is a deep rot. That thing is a deep rot. And you know, I was happy when this our economic guru, what's his name again, came out to say
Rwani.
that sorry,
Rwani.
what name?
Rwani.
Yeah, Rwani. Thank you. When he came out to give us that sharing news, I was happy because at least the man has been consistent over the years, and I was very happy when he gave us that sharing news about the economy. And when they told us that our Nigerian naira has been decoupled from the um, um, flux of the oil price, because whenever the oil price moves up, the naira is always in trouble. But I was happy when
They're back. They're back.
Yeah,
Okay. And so this cabal thing is not a new thing, and it's bad for governance, because policies that your president is sent into probably is written by one cuckoo somewhere who just framed it up for his own personal interest and all that. Gentlemen, you are back. I was going to say NEPA did this. The network went AY and cut you off. I don't know if you heard the last statement.
Yes,
about
So, Uncle Fudge, Aki and I were just talking now, and we said the general consensus and submission on Buhari's legacy, which is third coming, was that he took us back instead of forward. So the question now is, how far back did he take us?
Sorry, Bosun, we have a caller. Hello, good morning. Who are you? Where are you calling from? Who's calling? Dio, please go ahead.
Because of what he did in the Southwest, in terms of development, in terms of education, free education, and every other thing. Now, we are also remembering Ojekunle for how he developed within this, let's say 4 years of his term. How many people benefited from him, whether you are from Southeast or Southwest or anywhere in the country. So everybody benefited from them. Now, we can't say that of Buhari. He did not do well. He wasted years of more or less like a retrogressive government. He took us backward in terms of education. He appointed Adamu that does not know anything about education. He stated this that does not know anything about education. So the same thing is about economy and every other thing. So now the worst thing of all, that somebody in that bad legacy, somebody said he was going to continue in that particular legacy, and he even has done 10 times worse now. This person that we're talking about, he has more or less like from day one that he said subsidy is gone. It is everything about the foundation of this country was shaking. He has taken us 100 years backward. They are more or less like living their luxury life, and they are telling Nigerians to tighten their belts. Now he has left everything about what you call governance. It's now talking about 2027. It's more or less like a student that has failed an exam, but you want to promote yourself to another class. So when I used to, like, Dele Parity used to say, to power and expect development. You can't give what you don't have upstairs. Like I used to say, it's a shame that the worst of us is really the best of us. Yeah. Nigerians, we have seen the handwriting of the wall. It's better for us to remove this nightmare government in 2027. Thank you very much.
Oh. Some strong word there from Yemi. I hope you guys heard him.
Very well.
It's in the same fashion. The disappointment about the regime of or the administration of Muhammadu Buhari and the ongoing dissatisfaction with Tinubu's government, especially as it concerns the economy and education. Yes. So you were saying?
So I said the consensus is that from all quarters is that Buhari took us back. That's the submission. But the question now, the real question that should be asked is, how far back did he take us? That's the question begging for answer, because everybody has concluded that he took us from where we were further inside, not forward. So, but how far? Because like I said earlier, also the current struggles of this administration, the blocks and foundations, and in fact, the first floor was laid by Buhari's administration. So, how they are going to do it, and somehow a lot of people don't feel any pity for the current president because they believe he brought him.
Yeah.
And he was instrumental to his Buhari's ascension to the throne.
Oh, yes.
So whatever you are facing, deal with it. That's the general body language on the street. So, but that doesn't take away the fact that Buhari's policies didn't help this country any bit. That's a legacy he left for us. Unfortunately, it's not a legacy that tastes good in the mouth. But that was what he left us with.
We have another
Though
caller.
you can point to Second Niger Bridge, a few rail constructions, and but beyond that, nothing.
Oh, thank you. We have quite a number of agitated voices online. I'm seeing the lines going on and off. Please keep it coming and air your views. Here's another. Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir. Who am I speaking with? Ambrose, you are welcome. Yes. Okay, that's Andrew from
Buhari issue. Some people went on social media to say that you don't speak ill of the dead. And I asked, if you don't speak ill of the dead, do you stop God from judging the ill works of the dead? Is it possible? Your works will speak for you. I like the Titi Lokwe just said something. He said, when you leave a car, even if you are dead, because you will never forget that car. Do you know that one of the greatest highlights of Buhari's government was that Lekki massacre? Innocent youth were massacred mercilessly, brutally. And we have this same man was the one who brought him, and we learned that before he even became the presidential candidate of APC, he was planning to port to SDP if they didn't give him the ticket. And he said the middle form. Now it is his turn. It's not seen what he's using this the past 2 years to do, and he's already thinking of 2027. Now, the question is this: you have a mandate. It is your mandate that will determine exactly what you are going to use 2027 to do. You want to force yourself? Is it your right? Is it by force? Is this democracy? When I look at the democracy of today, you heard what happened in Edo, where the governor said Peter Obi must not enter Edo State. Can you imagine under a government of Tinubu? Now you are practicing democracy. The judiciary is no longer safe. INEC has become an extension of the presidency. Now, which other part of government can we hold responsible now to say we have a free and credible election? INEC has not started registration. I have 4 children now. They've been qualified to register for a long time. In Bosun, you cannot register. Wow. These are the problems. How can in a country of over 100 million people, only 8 million people voted for a president? Even though that is still disputable, who won the election. And now we are still talking now, there are still many people who want to register. INEC is not supposed to be on leave. It's supposed to be a continuous process. But as we speak now, INEC has not even started registration. And Mr. President will appoint the INEC chairman. How can you appoint a referee and you expect the referee to speak against you? We are just appealing to them. How God will do it, we don't know. Let there be a free and credible election. If he wins again, fine. Nobody's against his coming back. But you make sure the field is free.
It's free.
And that is one thing that this man will never give who benefited from this system of democracy. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ambrose. Wow. Gentlemen, I'm sure you heard him. There's the same ongoing lamentation about the chinks and the mishits within our body politic. Okay, let's move on to the next story. It's I think the passage of Buhari, both terrestrially and spiritually, left many Nigerians with bold scars. We
have another Buhari one coming. Tinubu renames Unimaid after late Buhari. President Bola Tinubu has renamed the University of Maiduguri as Muhammadu Buhari University, Maiduguri, in honor of the late former president. The announcement came during a special FEC session at the presidential villa. Tinubu praised Buhari's integrity and restraint in leadership, describing him as a refuge for virtue. Buhari died on July 13 in London after a prolonged illness and was buried in Daura, Katsina State. He served as military head of state from 1983 to 1985 and elected president from 2015 to 2023.
Well, we don't know the fallback, if there's going to be a backlash. Usually when they change names, like it happened with Moshood Abiola, Unilag, recently with Olunloyo, Polytechnic for Ibadan Polytechnic, they are still contesting that. We do not know the backlash that will come changing University of Maiduguri to Buhari University. Do you think that's a good place to immortalize someone who has no sterling achievements in education?
For me, I would have preferred maybe they would have named the second Niger bridge after him. Maybe, yes.
Is that not already named after him?
No. Someone actually suggested it, but I would have preferred that rather than changing the name of some of these universities and creating unnecessary bottlenecks for people. We have enough on our plate as it is already. And for you to start creating bottlenecks for people that they will now start telling you one is from Unimed, which one is Muhammadu Buhari University. Yeah. It doesn't sound for me. And if there was any backlash, there would have been By now, there would have been a backlash, but that part of the country has been so decimated that I don't know. People are just quiet
Yeah,
about
the
it.
Northeast.
Because there was an immediate reaction when Unilag was changed. There was an immediate reaction when the Polytechnic was announced. The name change for the Polytechnic was announced. But for this, everybody was just like, okay, well, it has happened. It has happened. Let's just move on. And but for me, second Niger Bridge would have been perfect. You would have named it that after him, other than the name of a university, because he was never known for anything in education anyway.
Okay. We are running out of time. Let's see if we can get one or two stories in again.
Plateau government accuses military of inaction in fresh farmers' killings. The Plateau State government has criticized the Nigerian military for failing to arrest any of the attackers who killed 27 farmers in the Tahos community, despite being just 200 meters from a military checkpoint.
Wow.
Commissioner for Information Joyce Ramnath told Channels TV that the soldiers had direct contact with the attackers but made no arrests. She described the assault as unprovoked genocide, echoing Governor Muftwang's concerns. The attackers reportedly struck from 3 directions, leaving several dead, including 6 people killed in a pastor's home. Plateau has witnessed repeated deadly attacks in recent months.
Wow. That's a very big.
That's the most unfortunate. That state is one of the most unfortunate states. It used to be like a tourist site.
Yes.
And because of the weather. And it's so sad that the same plateau is now a shadow of itself. It's a symbol of insecurity in Nigeria. And what baffles me is they have top people in that area, but they're also enmeshed in their tribal sentiments that they're not thinking solution or peace. Because for me, what does it cost to call those people and put them together and find a lasting solution amongst them? So everybody is holding on to their tribal sentiments and proclivities, and they just don't. They're not talking peace. They're not looking at the far-reaching effect on the economy, on the social status of the state. They're just, they just left it. The place is a shadow of itself, and it shouldn't be like that. And I just wonder, all the big names from that place, they're not saying anything. They're not even moving in that direction of finding a solution. And it's always the blame game. And I see that thing going on for a long time in that place. It's very sad for the state and very sad for the country.
Yeah, but
Very well put.
I sincerely agree with you, but more than that, there's a saying from the good book that says, "Be as gentle as a dove, but be as wise as a serpent." I think they are not taking that saying into cognizance. They are dealing with people that are more cunning, more visionary than they are, and you could remember I was not young when the issue of Zamani Lekwot came up.
Yeah.
Same thing was happening in his, and he armed everybody. And those attackers came and they repelled them. But the aftermath was that the government of the day was the one that sent soldiers into that community. They didn't attack soldiers, they attacked attackers. And they took everything over that community. And it's still, and I think that fear is still until each and every sector of Nigeria, we decide on our own that, okay, enough is enough. Because Anakeridoro Ali did it. He just bulldozed his way into, see, we are going to have our own militia. And today we have it in the Southwest. Either some people are saying they are not too armed, or we have it. And it is working. Until they do that in that part of the country, arm everybody. It's going to, but because people that are coming to attack, they are not doing anything other than what we call the Scotch earth policy. They attack and they make sure you leave your land. And they leave their land, they will now come in as tenants. stay for some time. After 20, 30 years of staying, a child has been
Claim
battered there and stuff like
ownership.
that. Yeah, they will claim ownership. That is the simple thing they are doing. That is the simple thing they are doing, because these attacks they are planned. And the soldiers, for me, I will not want to blame them too much. They know the rot that is happening. They will send you to the field, and the person that sent you to the field is the one that is going to give your location to the people that are coming because they will tell you, okay, you want to go and protect them. They are going to protect them. And it is happening every day, day in, day out. If you have ever not someone in the military in the recent times, check it out. It's from the north. And the most amazing thing is, it is not northerners that are going to the north now. It is southerners that they are sending to the north to go and die. So it's an unfortunate thing.
Okay, we will not be able to take our last story. It's about the unfortunate incidents in Kano where 11 people were arrested for killing two schoolmates. And the kind of thing going on in our schools, in our junior schools, is frightening. Gentlemen, it's been a very, very busy day. We like to thank our callers, Talkware, as usual, Yemi, Henry, and Ambrose, for who air their views. They are very strong views about what's going on in Nigeria. Well, thank you so much for calling in. It's been interesting. It's nice to see. I hope it is possible for you when you die to look back and hear what people are saying behind you, so that probably it will help you to build the currency, in a better way, so that people will speak well of you. And I mean, they mentioned some individuals, some figures in the past who have done great things that we still speak well of them, even decades after their death. What will people say about you? Think about you as a leader in any space you are taking control over, in any environment. What will people say about you? What legacies are you leaving behind? Will they be rubbishing you and your ancestry, or will they be praising you and wishing you well? The accumulation of good wishes will lead to prosperity for your offspring, and so also the accumulation of curses and abuses is a tragedy waiting ahead for your people. On that note, I want to thank you, Tamilore. Thank you so much for joining us. Esife, birthday girl, thank you so much for being there. Akindamola, your final words.
Happy birthday.
Yes,
Thank
she
you.
marked her birthday the other day. Akindamola, your final words, please, today.
Yeah, well, for everybody, I will just tell you, keep believing, keep hoping. It's never too late, and let Nigeria happen to you in a good way. Have a fantastic day.
Amen. Amen. Bosun, your final words.
Yeah, let's live well, so they won't have to lie at your funeral, or people will start looking for words to describe what you never did. So let's live well. This is a pointer to living well. At least, even if anything, live well, so people won't lie.
People won't have the need to lie. Don't forgive
And people won't have
Bosun.
to curse you after you are gone.
After you're gone. Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. As we often say
Thank you,
here,
sir.
be genuinely nice to people around you every day and do good, even in spite of the attempts of the enemy politicians to frustrate our lives. Be nice, be good to people as best as you can afford it. So I say, stay blessed. By the grace of God, we'll be back next week. See ya.
Okay.
Oh God.
What you were saying about legacy is only people that care that will be concerned about legacy.
How do you remove this? End stream.
Bye, Sam.